Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hard Knock Hawks. I'm Anthony, along with Chris, Leon, and Marco. This is the podcast where we like to talk about our favorite basketball team, the Atlanta Hawks. Today, we're going to try and recap a bunch of the stuff we missed over the past few weeks, starting with the Hawks having their longest losing streak of the season with 6 games so far. To go into detail, since we last recorded, they've only won one game in Boston, lost on the road in New York, went 0-3 in the homestand against the Detroit Pistons and the Toronto Raptors. After a small break, they lost another close game against the Rockets. So it's not looking good for the Hawks right now. For the first time since December, the Hawks are below 500. The Hawks are the ninth seed. They have the 19th ranked offense and the 14th ranked defense per clean glass. However, the last 2 weeks have been pretty interesting for the Hawks. They have the third ranked defense in the entire league, but the 28th ranked offense. So our defense is actually incredibly good, but it's just simply the fact that no one can make any shots right now. So I am going to start this podcast by talking about the big elephant in the room, and that's the Jalen Johnson injury. So in one of the Toronto games during our homestand, Jalen suffered a non-contact shoulder injury where he left the game, and after a few days, it was reported that Jalen Johnson was had a torn labrum in his left shoulder, and he's out for the rest of the season. So I'm going to ask you, Chris, what do you think about this injury going forward for the Hawks, and how do you think the Hawks can potentially adapt from this?
Actually have dealt with this injury personally. I've injured my leg when playing football, so I know that's something that can be lasting. Like most athletes, I did the non-surgical route so I could keep playing. Thankfully, Jalen, as a professional, has like a long career to think of, and went ahead and got surgery so that he'll be available to start next season, which is the season the Hawks are really kind of gearing up for in general. When you're this young, you're not worried about the now; it's about tomorrow. So it sucks to lose Jalen. There's a silver lining that other guys get opportunities, but yeah, Jalen does so much for your team. That's a guy that's 20 and 10 and 5, and that's 30 points at least a game, and he's your best rebounder. He's your best finisher. He gets out in transition. So losing him is really tough for this team to overcome. It's gonna take a full team effort unless they do something at the trade deadline.
Oh yeah, like Chris said, man, losing Jalen is a blow, especially because this season you wanted to really let him develop into a second option, and he was on the way of doing that. So it kind of sucks that this happened. Now I was at the game live and I saw it happen because once I seen it and how he ran off the court, man, it was yeah, I knew it was kind of wraps. I kept telling myself it popped out, popped back in. He'll be out for like a month's change, but the tear was always in the back of my head. But like Chris said, man, it sucks. But you gotta. It wasn't really about the now, anyways. It's about the future. So next season, he'll be well. He'll be good to go by next season. He'll be fine by then. Actually, way before then, even before training camp. So glad he decided to get the surgery and didn't try to be stubborn about it. All I can really say on that one. Oh, you can go ahead, Leon.
Well, at least it's not a shooting shoulder. That's all I really got. As far as the outlook for the Hawks for the rest of the season, it's going to be a lot of onus on Dre, Zach, and the other forwards, David Roddy and company to step it up offensively and also defensively for sure, because like Chris said, he gives you so much on defense as well, as far as weak side rim protection, ending possessions with rebounds, just being big and in the way. Offensively, obviously, he's our second side creator, as well as our main short roll opportunist, so to speak. It was a great year for him so far. It sucks that he's gonna miss the rest of it, miss out on MIP and a possible All-Star bid. But as far as the Hawks are concerned, next man up. See Moji start the last game, played well despite the loss. And it'll give a couple of the younger guys and the two-way guys opportunities to show what they can do on the NBA floor. All right, because we need more forwards, we need more wings in general. So it'll be nice for those guys to get the experience they wouldn't have got if we were 100% healthy. That's the thinnest of silver linings I have for you.
To just give you some stats for how important Jalen was to this team. Jalen has a plus 1.6 net rating, which doesn't seem like a lot, but he's one of the only few Hawks on this team that has an actual positive net rating on this team. He's the third. He played 2,858 possessions for this team, which is a lot. There is also, by the way, no real backup power forward on this team unless you count Muhammad Gay, who until recently only played a large majority of his minutes in the G League. So you can technically consider not really NBA ready yet until I guess now. So losing someone like him that can like play make, get to the rim easily, and can just dominate in transition, that's just a huge loss. And for me, like someone that had like for this team real playoff expectations. I know Marco, you said that you think the Hawks are going to go to the playoffs, and I think Leon, did you say you thought the Hawks were going to go to the playoffs too, or
you said 47 wins?
I said 47.
Yeah,
I remember exactly.
I sure did. I said 47 wins. I said we could slide into 4 or 5. I thought we could mess around and get some home court advantage. Silly me.
Yeah, I mean this is just
young. It's okay. I get
it. Whatever, Chris. But I mean, this is just a huge blow to that because we don't really have a real replacement for that right now, unless Muhammad Gay or Zach can all of a sudden turn into just most improved player.
Gay did look really fast, man. He's 6'11"
he did
easily, and when he was opening up in open court, he's fast.
And the defense for Muhammad Gay was just really impressive. There was this one possession, I think, in the Timberwolves game where he was just locking up Anthony Edwards in the fourth quarter, and I was just so impressed by that. And I just could believe, like, you see players like Muhammad Gay there, and you can just see the vision of how he could work on NBA court. But right now, it's just he's not offensively ready for that, I feel like, yet. But with Jalen, it's just, for me, this sucks because we're probably not bad enough right now to be out the play-in, which is important because we don't have our own pick, because that's obviously what's the Spurs in the DJ trade. But
you care about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But to your earlier point about Jalen,
before
anyone listening forgets, I think you said like he's positive 1.5. I think we're like a negative 8 point something when he's off the floor. It's like almost a 10-point swing. I think it's the biggest one on the Hawks. He and Trey playing well together.
One of the biggest in the league, by the way.
Yeah, and Trey has not been very good without Jalen on the floor, quite frankly. He settles for threes a lot. I mean, people are able to trap him off the ball a lot more. And Jalen tilts the floor just so much because the biggest perimeter defender has to be on Jalen. So, it really changes a lot when Jalen's out there schematically and just, I think, confidence-wise for everybody that they depend on him, and I think he gets everyone going. So, yeah, it sucks.
So, my question going forward is that do you guys see Muhammad Gay or just any other player just being able to somewhat fill that role that Jalen was able to fill on this team?
Hopefully that'll be awesome. Probably not. Dyson Daniels, maybe, as a guy that can fill the stat sheet. I think he's going to have a lot more opportunity. Zach is going to have a lot more opportunity. The points are going to probably not be as many, but some people's scoring is going to go up. I really think Dyson has a chance to seize that, and Zach as well. Maybe they throw Zach in some of those actions that Jalen was in. Try to get him next to the rim because once he gets down there, he knows what he's doing. As long as no one pushes him off the spot. So yeah. we'll see. I think those two, and then Mo Gay, he looked good in his first opportunity. I mean, as good as you would expect. And really, we're just asking him to play some defense and run, and see what you can do from there.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, even with Mo, you're not really asking Mo to do anything. You're really asking Mo to be a body and play defense, and that's what he has been doing so far. He helps with boards. He helps on Onyeka on help side. He does what you need him to do. So I think the scoring will eventually come. Mo looks very more comfortable shooting the ball or trying to actually look for his shot. So I think the scoring will eventually come as more reps as he gets used to playing with the main group again and all that. But I think Mo again fills the spot. He's a size, he's a body. He's almost 7 foot. So again, that's always nice to have right there. Definitely better than having David Roddy right there. So I hope Mo does his thing and hope he this is his time to shine and potentially take that backup four position next season.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is just opportunity for him. With Jalen out and other guys, when and if other guys go down, it'll just be opportunities for the young guys who haven't got a lot of minutes to show their worth and maybe carve out a role next season. Is going to be a learning experience for the front office to see what they have, and a lot of the guys that they haven't got to see play real NBA games a lot. Most specifically, most of what Marco said, I agree with. Is just you're 7 foot, so you rebound better than the other power forward options we have. Zach is a good rebounder, but we really want to, not to put too much on his plate, keep him playing his main position at the three for now. And is against whoever we played last game, Rockets. He did pretty good. Rebounding. Being opportunistic, getting offensive rebounds, getting points. I think he hit a 3 in that game. And he's been shooting really good in the G. So no, we're talking about Mo.
Okay. Yeah, Mo.
Zach did do
that. Yeah.
Equally surprising. So okay. Sorry.
Hater.
I mean, the percentages say that Zach hitting a 3 should have been more surprising to you. However, moving on. He's shooting the ball really well in the G. So with some more playing time up here, I think that'll begin to translate a little bit more. And teams is already closing out pretty hard on him. The Rockets did at least. So that'll be another guy who at least spaced the floor a little bit. So he can't teach height. And he plays within himself. He's done a much better job of playing within himself this season in the G, and that'll translate. And that just goes to show the commitment we've made to the College Park Skyhawks to develop guys into giving us real minutes on the big squad.
I was like, open floor is a way better baller than Clint Capella. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
I mean, that's
it's a low bar. I understand.
I mean, it's not even a low bar. It's like I can't name a.
But
is there a starting center who dribbles worse than Clint Capella?
Starting center.
Hold on. Let's try.
Let's do it quick. Obviously, we'll take out all the big guys, all the MVP candidates. Sabonis, Sengun. Gafford dribbles better than him. I'll take Lively. I'll take Bam. Rudy's probably. I mean,
that's a close one, dog.
That's about as close as it gets. Everybody else is about on the same level. Brooke dribble ball up decently.
Brooke probably, yeah.
Rudy is the only one.
Yeah,
but he's also a Euro man. They don't learn how to play basketball until like 19. The bigs.
Okay.
Like Clint, man.
But
especially that era. Sorry.
But I do want to talk about one positive thing that has happened with this team. It does. Well, it's hold on. It's
thing that happened with the team.
Well, it does. Yes, a player moving into the starting position. Yes,
we already talked about Moji.
No,
Onyeka.
We're gonna be talking about Onyeka because
The
I
rim
do
wrecker?
think. Oh, what did you say?
Onyeka the rim wrecker?
Yes, sir. That's right. We're gonna be talking about Onyeka, despite how much y'all hate him. He's a starter. He's
Man.
starting. He's
Hate
been
is a
starting the
strong word.
past 2 weeks, even though the winning record with him so far does not reflect his play.
I was going to ask what it was. I wasn't keeping up. I mean,
We're 0-6 when he started.
It's not his fault though. But hold on, let me get to
16,
my
It's
notes.
going on 17.
There's context
I didn't blame him. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
so you're good. So for years, Clint Capella has been the starting center on this Hawks team. So 313 out of 316 games. Shout out to Brad Rowland for this stat. But in the game against New York, Quinn Snyder made his decision to start Onyeka Okongwu as the starting center for his team. He said in a press conference before Detroit's game that I think over the course, it's always good to have an opportunity to look at different combinations or rotations to have that flexibility over the course of time. He's been playing really well, not just in a role that you got him to start. He's worked hard to get healthy. It felt like it was a good opportunity for him. It made some sense. So since he started, he's been averaging 14.4 points, 11 rebounds, and 2.9 assists with a 66.5% true shooting. So I'll start with you, Marco. What are your thoughts on Yeka's as the starting center so far? And do you think he could potentially be the starting center of the future if this stat line keeps up?
That's very interesting. But he's been fine. I will say that. He's clearly been our best center. Bars in hell, but he's clearly been our best center on this roster so far. I feel like after a while, if you didn't start Onyeka this year, it would have been questionable because Clint was actually like playing his worst basketball ever. Now we dog Clint a lot, and some of it is jokes, some of it is serious. But when I say Clint has been playing his worst basketball ever, he's been playing his worst basketball ever. So I feel like after a while, you had to play Onyeka because now this is the season where everybody has to prove it to the front office where why should you be here? Why should you do this? Blah blah blah. So I feel like Onyeka finally, getting this chance to show why he should start is definitely on the table. His stats have been good when he's a starter, despite the record, because it is some context behind that of why we are 0-6, 0-5, why he starts. When he has started, like I said, it's context behind that, so I won't put that all on him. But I do feel like for a future wise, I still can't get jiggy with it because in my eyes, in my eyes, I see him as a real rotational, big. Because in today's league, you cannot be smaller than your opponent. A lot of teams are going back to actually adding size to their rosters, trying to make sure you at least got decent size at every position. That's why a lot of people don't like Trey because Trey is an undersized point guard, blah blah blah. So bouncing off that undersized point guard, pause. You can't have an undersized point guard and an undersized center in the starting five. I feel like now if Onyeka played bigger than what he is, like Bam or Jalen Duran at times, or centers like that, I could see it. But for future, I think you just need to get somebody a bit bigger because you have to pick your poison on that. Do you want to stay with the undersized point guard or do you want to stay with the smaller center? And just in this scenario, our undersized point guard is our franchise. So it's easy for me to just deduct on the out of that role. But like I said, I like what I've seen from O. He's battling. He's getting his shots up, getting his attempts up. He plays the way Quinn wants to play. Passes the ball. Has tried to use him as an offensive hub from time to time. So I'm not really too mad at it, but that is how I feel on it. Leon, let's start with you actually.
OO has been playing some of his best basketball. So it's been nice to see that he's healthy. it's been nice to see that he looks confident out there. He's playing some of his best basketball. Playing some of his best basketball.
Tell the truth. Come on,
Did the
be
recording
honest.
skip?
No,
I don't think so.
Did
I
not
just,
skip. Come on.
Onyeka Okongwu is starting for the Atlanta Hawks. In a lot of the games that he started, Jalen didn't play, especially since the Toronto game, and those were the more winnable games against obviously the second Toronto game, and then the Minnesota game, which we were in and then out of, and then kind of back in. Had a chance to come back again at the end. And obviously the Rockets game where it just couldn't hit shots late, and that's not really on Onyeka, so I won't blame him. And there was a number of different reasons, but that late in the game just didn't hit shots. Do I think he could be the long-term starting center on this team? Not if you're going to have Trey as your starting point guard. You want Onyeka in the scheme where you can switch 1 through 5 on a team that's got like a big guards, in my opinion. But he's a good option as a backup, and he's making backup money. And obviously, spot starting, he's been good as a spot starter, matchup based for a while, especially when he's healthy. Since starting, he's shooting 30% from 3 on a game. The volume's up. Hopefully, we can get the percentage up into the mid 30s, and then that adds another dynamic to his game, so we can see what he is as a driver. Where I think he's not exactly dynamic, but against if you can bring centers out of the paint, he's good enough to drive past them. So hopefully, that's something that he can show that he can do a little bit more as time goes on. But as far as long-term starting center on a team that's trying to win a championship, on this team that's trying to win a championship, I don't think so. Chris.
Okay. Just looking at the numbers here, obviously we do watch the games and sometimes we do the spaces. So I'm not a box score scout, but I'm going to look on it as a starter. He's at 12, 8, and 3. As a reserve this season, 11, 7, and 2. So there hasn't been like a major uptick. I mean, his minutes have only gone up by 4. I don't know that his role has changed significantly. I think they're trying to stretch him out closer to 30 minutes and see what you get with a little more time on the floor, more time with Trey. The defensive rating is better now that he's playing more of his minutes, I think, with the starting group. Makes sense. It's a solid defensive group with Dyson. Going to be out there a lot. As for his play, particularly, I don't know that it's changed too much. He's been playing pretty well most of the season. I guess as a starter, he's continued to play pretty well. He's still kind of inconsistent. I don't know if there's an impact on the game. You feel it. I think he needs to be a lot more aggressive. To Leon's point about him being able to take bigs off the dribble, he's extremely passive when the ball touches his hands. And it's not just him. It's a lot of the players on the team. I don't know if the offense is hypnotizing them or if there's still a little just ball watching a Trey going along, and a little bit of Jalen too, right? And I understand deferring to the best 2 players on your team, but if you're trying to make a name for yourself and you get the ball and you think you have an advantage, like I want to see you put on the floor and try to get to the rim if that's part of your game. And I don't feel like that's something that he looks for enough. If he wants to be the starting center on this team, he needs to solidify his role as a third option. And a third option with 2 players like Trey and Jalen has to be extremely aggressive. When you get the ball, you have to know when you're in your spots and when you can get to the rim. The plays aren't going to be for you, so you need to know how to get buckets. And I'm not seeing that a lot from Owen. And to be fair, it could be that Jalen's not been out there, right? There's no Jalen, so the offense isn't running as cleanly as it maybe would if he's there. That changes a lot of the matchups. He'll be in the dunker spot a lot more. Maybe he's not doing the DHO stuff, and he doesn't have to be the screener as much. He and Jalen could trade that off a bit more. I don't know. We'll see. But I think for now, he's playing pretty well, and hopefully he can gain some momentum. And with like I was saying, with the silver lining of Jalen being out is that there's more shots for guys to take, and there's a lot of young guys on this team who are trying to make a name for themselves in this league. So I doubt they listen, but I would suggest, I'll put it in the universe, that they start being aggressive and get their shots up, try to go get to the rim, because that's what Jalen did for this team. And without that, it's going to be really hard to score. Jump shooting is difficult. You have to – the old cliches about live by the three, die by three is real because the percentage is low. Most people are bad at shooting. You got to be Steph Curry and Clay and KD to actually do that and win. Everybody else is big, and they get to the rim. So we got to find some guys that can finish for us. And hopefully with Jalen out, some people step up to fill his shoes. You got Mo G, but Onyeka is the primary guy I'm looking at if we're talking about front court, someone in the front court replacing Jalen. Like, you're 6th overall pick. Like, step up, make some plays.
I think for me, like, the main thing I would say I am impressed with Onyeka with during this whole stretch is that this. I think there were a lot of fears that if he were to start, that the defense would just be really bad or just suddenly collapse. And one of my main thoughts was that what would happen if because like Capella was much better at points or was just still a level above Okongwu at the time, was what would happen if we have a defense without Capella, right? Would it still be a good defense? And I think so far, right, Okongwu was just proving a lot of his doubters wrong on that front because we're still having like this really great defense despite all that. And I think he is showing that he can be, I think, a capable defensive anchor despite even missing Jalen and like all these other players that we don't have right now. I do agree with your point, Chris, that we really don't have like I thought we really don't. I mean, Onyeka still needs to be more aggressive on certain plays because he really just needs to be able to just like that extra punch in order for this team to really just be a part of that next level, honestly. Like, there are moments where I think you know what I'm talking about, where he could just make some like really embarrassing plays and stuff where he may not be able to just go past the guard or something like that. And it could just be frustrating to
Got
just
blocked by Cade twice this season.
I mean, listen.
To be fair, Cade is his height.
Yeah. He almost is basically his height.
That's also a roast.
Like,
Not almost. Not almost.
Okay.
He is his height.
He is? I thought he was 6'6".
Oh. How tall is Onyeka?
6'8".
6'8".
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe.
You always thought
Cut his hair.
Yeah. He's like, Cade is a good shot blocker.
Yeah, but you're a big. You don't want to be blocked. Like, I'll give a guard credit where it's due on shot blocking, like Derek White, one of the best guard shot blockers in today's league, whatever. But as a big, you should not be getting blocked by him.
It's supposed to be a sneak attack when a guard gets a big, bro. Like, a dude doesn't see him coming.
Like,
you catch him with like a quick jump.
Both times
Onyeka tried to line him up on the second one.
Yeah, he's
and
actually
Cade
tried to,
said no.
To me, it's
to
not that big of a deal for some of them because
strong, bro.
Like I said, like at least he's trying to be aggressive, right? I want to do more.
I'll give him that.
Right?
He tried.
We need more aggressive Onyeka, right? We're still having that high level of defense that we saw from Capella. Just transfer over.
So what you're saying? Hold on.
Okay, all right.
So what you're saying is he's trying.
Yes.
In year 5, we're giving out points for trying.
What?
I'm asking you, gang.
Yeah, we're not on the point. Onyeka's on that line of you can't be you can't try anymore.
I'm giving him credit where credit is due. I think we're eventually he's being a successful defensive anchor despite the fact that we're losing a bunch of games. Okay, I mean, I mean, the defense has. Am I wrong about defense
The
being
defense
good?
has been good.
The numbers are good in the past 2 weeks in the 6 games we played. I would
Yes,
caution you that we did play the Raptors twice.
that's
We played
true.
one
And
top 10 offense during that span. Am I incorrect?
you are right. That's fair. But
We've also played multiple bottom 10 offenses in that span. Is that correct?
I mean,
Almost all.
yeah,
The
yeah,
only
and that-
only good offensive we played were Boston and New York. Well, Boston doesn't count. So it was. What are the 6 games? I mean, he didn't start against Boston,
Houston's
right?
offense.
it was the
Houston's offense is
Knicks,
pretty decent.
It was
Knicks,
Knicks,
Pistons,
both Toronto,
both
Pistons.
Raptors, and the Rockets.
And the Pistons are what, an average offense, right?
Yes,
At best.
basically below average.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Not saying that.
I mean, it's good. I mean, it's good that we're good on defense against mid defensive teams. But like when we start playing the teams that are really good on defense, I mean, really good on offense, we'll see. I hope so.
That's fair. That's fair.
I hope
100%
it continues. I would not predict that.
Yeah. O's also still has that fouling trouble that it's been around.
I don't think it's been as bad as last.
It's not
few
as
seasons.
bad, but
It's not as bad as it was very early in his career. But
Yeah,
it's
being
still
a
it comes
6'8"
at the
center, you
bad
have
habits come back around sometimes.
yeah, he almost.
I thought he would have been fouling. He hasn't been fouling out or anything.
yeah.
Yeah, like he still had like to. It's harder. I'm not gonna say it's harder for him to be solid. It's just he has to jump. He has to jump earlier. Like he just has to jump earlier than a 7-foot guy will have to. Like it's just,
Here's a question.
Uh-oh.
I'll have to set it up with a statement, obviously.
All right, go ahead.
2021, we made that run, right? Clint Capella was one of the best defensive bigs in the league. Onyeka was a really good defender then. Does it feel like both of them have regressed at the same time defensively? Like, how did that happen?
I think that there's a couple things there.
Should Onyeka be better by now? Sorry.
Yeah.
Now I'm done.
Yes.
I think that you lost the front court room around both of them is very different than it was then.
Fair. They did have John. He was legit.
And like, say what you want about Gallo, he was good at being big and in the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it allowed for Onyeka to have slightly more favorable matchups against certain teams when you've got a lumbering, true, but 6'10", 260, who also is going to shoot it from 50 feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Gallo. Or
there's the
John
injuries
Collins.
too. Multiple shoulder things. Sorry.
I was getting it. Yeah. Say what you want about John Collins. He organized well defensively, and he was an okay to good weak side rim protector. And again, as you said, Toyeka. So we got the toes, we got the shoulder injuries, and that kind of, I think, I won't say lessened his physical. He's not as physical as I thought he was earlier as I feel as though he was earlier in his career.
Ricky Onyeka is different. That was a madman right there, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
We legitimately called him the Giannis stopper. Do you even think
Embiid
for a
stopper.
second
the Embiid stopper
that he's stopping Giannis right now? Like,
I mean, Giannis is also like actually a better player than he was then.
Giannis is a god right now. Giannis is the best player in basketball. People keep talking about Jokic. I'm like, dog. Giannis does everything.
Yeah, because when he closed us with like 5 middies in a row, like I remember it was like 3 minutes left in Vegas. He hit this midi, bro, on Onyeka. I was like, oh, I understand it now. We're not winning this game. We're not winning this game. But yeah, it's rough. Honestly, it's just rough.
Giannis is like what Shaq would have been if he like had a handle and like worked out in the offseason. He's just an absolute
Shaq had a handle.
Nature.
Shaq just didn't eat in the offseason or during the season is what you really meant.
I feel like Giannis does have a good handle. But Giannis is 60% from the field. I don't know if Shaq was ever 60% from the field. 30 points a game just
from the field?
From the field, dude.
You don't think Shaq was ever 60% from the field?
I don't know. Was he? I'm about to check now. 60 is really high.
You want to put 5 on
it? Betting live on the podcast.
I mean, why not?
Oh,
let's go.
Yeah. He had a couple.
Dang.
It's Shaq.
But
That's
it was just like
crazy.
2005 though. It wasn't even like in his prime.
Yeah, that's because he was doing the Capella,
The Capella. Oh man.
right? And like he
Yeah.
was, you know, like less posting up, less middies, you know.
Yeah, just
Right. His
lobs.
first 60% from the field was when he went to Miami, and you know,
Yeah, he did it twice then.
was
Which does
more
explain
so-
how he
more
was
so the
still
number
sneaking
two
into
than the
like
number
all
one.
NBAs. That was like wondering how Shaq was still getting all NBA. But yeah, he was.
averaging
Yeah.
23, 11, and
In my defense, it only
Three
happened
and-
twice during his like main runs,
hey man,
and then once again in like Phoenix, which he was like
yes.
38.
And then he had the 59.9 in his second season, right? Because for some reason he took a 3 in that season or 2. How many threes did he take that year?
I was looking at his
He
totals,
missed
but
he missed
didn't
2
count
threes,
towards that.
and for that reason he did not shoot 60% from the field that year.
Yeah, I mean, young Shaq could like run the floor transition. I mean, I don't know that he could run offense like Giannis did. They didn't give him a chance to. I'm sure that's what I'm saying. If Shaq had been developed the way Giannis had, this is the shit he would be doing to people. Like,
Yep.
he's an
I
absolute
mean, Shaq said it himself.
force.
All right,
juggernaut.
guys.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
We're getting a
Yeah,
little off
sorry.
topic
we're
now,
getting-
bro.
yeah.
Getting a little
Talking
off
about the
topic
Hawks
now.
is boring right now, dude. They're on a
I mean,
6-game
okay,
losing streak, but we
listen.
can get back to it. I'm sorry.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Shaq would eat OO's lunch just like
Yeah.
Giannis does today.
Yes. I mean, Giannis eats everybody's lunch now. I'm just saying, it's like weird because I feel like Onyeka, I'm like, rookie Onyeka might be a better defender than current Onyeka in terms of like impact and the way he was moving. Now I think he's smarter and he does stay out of foul trouble better now. But yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. I'm like, man, I was like, Clint has really regressed. And I was like, Onyeka's kind of regressed defensively because I feel like
Very much.
I was way more confident. I thought I would have been more confident with him by now. Maybe that's what I'm saying.
I agree. But again, he is playing with a lot less size than he once was. Especially in the games when Jalen doesn't play. And yes,
Yeah.
the Jalen OO lineups have been frustratingly not as good as they once were. Now, a lot of that was last season was Bogey played 80 games. He was coming off the bench with Onyeka a lot of time, and you were getting a lot of DJ, Bogey, Onyeka, Jalen lineups, whoever at the 3. You feel me?
Yeah.
And now that those are more V 2025 Bogey, Dre, Jalen, OO lineups, those weren't as good. Just net rating wise. I know you're talking about mainly defensively. And yeah, like his as a starter, he has to take less risk defensively, just staying out of foul trouble. And like he obviously had to prove that he could stay out of foul trouble to get the job or get this interview that he's getting right now. So yeah, it's frustrating. I wished and thought he would be better by now. I agree.
But I do want to move next to our next topic, and I think it
Oh,
may
I
be.
got one more thing to say about.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
go
I
ahead.
got one thing.
You're good, Marco.
I got one more thing to say about OO. It's not directly pertaining to OO, but you know, Landry, if you somehow just so happen to just decide to listen to our pod one day, don't let your girlfriend stop you from finding your wife. All I'm saying.
Come on.
Oh my god.
That was one of mine from the Spaces back in the day. Deep cut.
But I I do want to move on to I think our last topic for today before we get into our predictions. It's gonna be about the trade deadline. It's gonna be a week away from now from when we're recording this podcast. So we have no clue what the Hawks are gonna do, and the Jalen injury makes
Alonzo Trier.
everything. The Jalen injury makes it way more interesting than what we thought it would be. I do want to highlight one player who could possibly be traded. I have no clue if it's gonna happen or not, but we'll see. Bogey has been playing terribly lately. Bogey streak of making three in every game ended at the Knicks game on January 20th. it lasted 110 games. That's literally a season and almost a half. During the month of January, he's averaging 8.2 points, 1.8 assists, and 2.2 rebounds. His shooting splits are terrible. He has a true shooting of 42.4%. That's also terrible. I mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention it again. He is having a career low in points, assists, rebounding, field goal attempts, and three-point shooting. He's been back for nearly a month now, and during these last two games, and probably during the Cleveland game, he has been DNP'd. He doesn't have an injury, from what we know. It's just they just noted him as not with the team. So, could he be possibly a trade candidate, or do you think someone else could be a trade candidate, or are we just gonna be thinking the Hawks are gonna do nothing during this trade deadline?
It's never a right time to say goodbye. You know, Bogey, we done had a lot of good times, man. A lot of good times. What you did going to the 2021 playoffs was special. Playing 80 games last year, special. Representing the Hawks in the Olympics, almost winning a gold medal was special. But this year, my guy, you haven't been on it. It's been mid at best. Honestly, it's been quite bad. They got him out for personal reasons. Hopefully everything's all right. Like, I hope he's like, he doesn't have any like, catastrophic family stuff going on or any, crazy stuff going on. I hope he's okay physically and mentally. But if they are looking to trade him, I think it's time. He's on the wrong side of 30 now. If he's not on the wrong side of 30, he will be soon. So it's time to get younger. It's time to get a little bit more athletic, a little bit bigger at that position. So you kind of wish you to not, like right now, obviously you wish you moved him a little bit sooner, last summer or so when he was, when his value was peaked, but it's still, like we've said in spaces and in group chats, he's the kind of guy who could recoup value based off reputation. And he does have reputation as one of the best shooters, contested and uncontested in the game. So hopefully we can get something back for him. Obviously, you want to repeat something of the DJ deal where you get somebody that's undervalued on another team's bench and some draft capital from a playoff team that just needs more shooting. That's what you hope. Now, as far as other guys who are available, who I would like to be available or could be traded, obviously you got expiring money like Clint, Nance, Dre, who is really important right now, but also, because the forward room's so thin with Jalen being out the rest of the season. But, another guy where he's kind of at peak value right now, at least as high as it's probably as high as he's ever been with the great season that he's having. So I would be looking to possibly trade him. Everybody else I think is probably pretty safe besides the obvious Cody Zellers, the guys from 10 to 15 on the roster.
Go ahead, Marco. Yeah, I was about to interrupt you.
With Bogey, if it is actual personal reasons, I do hope he is fine. Hope everything is going on because right now you're still a Hawk, so I still will support you. Even if you leave the team, you will still be a Hawk in my heart. So there's that. But one thing that Grant Shirley did post out, shout out Grant, his DNP and not with the team is very much different of Cody Zeller's not with the team and what's his name? Can't think of his name right now, but he plays for he doesn't want to play for the Clippers right now. But there's I'm not worried about him right now.
PJ Tucker, is he still
PJ
the league?
Tucker, yeah.
He's on that roster. Oh wow, didn't know that.
He doesn't want to play for them though. But that's why he's so his DNPs and not with the team are different in those situations. So you don't just put anybody on DNP, especially when you're a healthy scratch DNP. And
you don't want to play for them because they don't play him. That's why.
Yeah. especially if you're a healthy scratch DNP like Bogey. If it was rest, they would just come out and say it was rest or injury management. We've been very open about that for other players. So I do think Bogey is probably out of here. This is me speculating, not me saying I heard anything. I do think Bogey is out of here. Um, that's just how the cookie crumbles. At the end of the day, I know a lot of people have a lot of fan favorites. A lot of people didn't want JC to go. A lot of people didn't want Cam to go. A lot of people didn't want Kevin Herter to go. Anyways, but yeah, man. At the end of the day, it's a business, and you got to do what you got to do to make the team better. And like Leon said, he's approaching the other side of 30, and Bogey's at the point where an injury really means something now. If Bogey was like 21, sure, that injury, trust me, he'll heal out that injury pretty fast. But he's about to. I'm pretty sure Bogey is either 33 or like 33.
He's close to 33.
Yeah, he's 32, 33,
yeah.
something like that.
He's close to 33. So
you want to sell while Bogey still has some type of high value because again, people are always going to want shooters, no matter how old, because they only want you because you can shoot. Same with Bojan, he's still employed because he can shoot. He's a proven shooter. So, I do hope Hawks do get a decent return for Bogey because Bogey's actually on a very cheap contract, only $17 million this year. Then it goes down for the next 2 years. So try to find some value in that. As for the other guys, I don't want to like Leon said, we're thin at the forward position right now. So you keep Dre for now, but I feel like if a trade comes up for Dre where you just can't say no, I say do it. So you do what you can do. Clint and Nance are interesting because they're both expiring, but I think Hawks should probably. The thing with expirings, a lot of people. I've said this on Glenn's when Glenn had us over on his Patreon. A lot of people don't really know the real value of an expiring, especially since we're in this new CBA and you're trying to clean cap and you want your sheet to look beautiful, whatever. A lot of teams will take those expirings and give you something that's actually pretty decent now because again, that's money off of their books. They're going to help you do something, and with that. So I think those two contracts are valuable. Nance is more valuable than Clint's because Nance is a cheaper expiring. It's easier to work something out with that versus $22 million. So Clint might get moved. It was weird that he was like a very late scratch a couple of days ago. I don't even think he was on the injury report for tomorrow's games. I didn't check.
Yeah, I don't think he is either. I think he'll probably play unless I'll check again though.
Yeah, you can check. Unless he's just mysteriously another late scratch again tomorrow, then you never know. But Hawks do have some. All I hope a lot of people want Hawks to make these big moves to go get Jimmy Butler. We don't have anything for Jimmy Butler. Go get. I've seen some people say pair trade with De'Aaron Fox. That's not smart. I know you want these big opportunistic moves, but Hawks shouldn't rush anything right now. Just be whatever. If it's a good deal, a good deal. If it's not, it's not.
Okay. Update: Clint Capella is out.
Oh,
he is out with back spasms.
Skip me.
I was gonna say that and then let you go, Chris.
We're gonna let that. So he is out with back spasms.
He is out. Yeah.
Oh.
That's.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Get well soon, Clint. Get well soon.
No, I mean to Bogey specifically. There's some players that you like see as assets and you really want to flip them at their highest, but there are other guys I think that have more value to your organization, personally and like professionally. That I think Bogey's one of those guys where they're like okay if they don't feel like they're like 100% getting it, selling him at his highest. I think his reputation around the league hopefully precedes what's going on right now. I think he kind of knows what's going on and that his future here is probably shaky. And I'm sure it's affected him mentally. He's had a tough year physically, and that's obviously affected him on the floor. So I think it'll be interesting to see what type of moves the Hawks can make with Bogey. Probably got to package him up if you're trying to get anything significant. But for me, I don't know that my plan for the deadline has really changed, right? I think the names I had I have a firm like untouchable list, big three like Trey, Dyson, Jalen, and then Zach is probably the person on the second tier, the only guy. Everyone else is kind of fair game. If the deal is right, I don't know that you want to change up the rotation too much. I don't know that you want to give up a pick if it's not a significant upgrade. Ideally, you can keep both picks, but it all depends on what you can work out. And but yeah, I think Dre's value is really high right now. I don't know if they would trade Bogey and Dre in the same deadline. It's a lot of transactions for this team in general. I've come to just grips with the fact that I might get one per little transfer window. So if Bogey is the one deal that happens, seems like he's away from the team right now for very mysterious reasons. Seems like he's likely headed out. I don't know that you give up Dre too because he's the only other shooter on the team. If Bogey's gone, I mean Garrison Matthews obviously hit a few threes, and you got Beat who's had a tiny bit of a run, but Dre's really your only shot maker out. That's not Trey, right? So you really need another guy that can hit shots. So we'll see what they decide to do, but it's all up to Landry at this point to see what happens. You're really looking for a sweetheart deal, something that makes sense for your team. You really don't want to rush it and lose any of the assets that you're trying to gain because you need a lot of depth. And if you're giving up picks, then you got to get someone that's really going to fill a major role for you in order to balance that. For me, anyway.
All I'm gonna say about this trade deadline is this: I hope they come out with a backup point guard. That's really all I just want for a backup point guard.
I have multiple backup point guards on the roster.
I mean, do we
respect Kobe Buffkin?
I mean, for this season, that's why I just want
respect Keaton Wallace.
I like Keaton. Envy.
It just I just give me another guard. I just want another guard.
All right, don't let them cut you down, Ant.
Don't let Leon tell you what to do. You don't have to respect nobody.
I know. That's why I'm repeating what I'm saying. Right. Like, I just want another guard. That's it. Because we need another guard. That's it. But the Bogey thing and now Clint being out for a second game is interesting. I think Clint may actually have an actual injury. And Bogey, I don't know what they're gonna do with Bogey. I mean, that seems like he's getting traded. And Chris, you mentioned Hunter. That would be really, really interesting if they trade Hunter. But if they do trade Hunter, you have to bring someone back that can at least actually make shots too. But I don't know how you can do that, like, without at least packaging up for someone. That would be interesting, though. I don't think you could do that. I don't think the Hawks are willing to do that, though. So we just have to wait and see during this next week what will happen, because that Jalen injury, like I said before earlier in the podcast and during the beginning, that it changed literally everything, because now we need a backup power forward, and a backup point guard, and possibly a little more scoring punch. Like, it's just a whole bunch of things, like a whole shopping list. But were you about to say something, Marco, or am I wrong?
No.
But yeah, I mean, I think this trade deadline all of a sudden has gone a lot more interesting for the Hawks. What do you guys think?
With all these big names flying around,
yeah,
Fox, Butler, I heard Warriors are open to moving Wiggins. It's a lot going on. If you're the Hawks, you try to get in on some of these trades just to make it a little easier on yourself. But again, don't force a trade that you think helps now.
A lot of former All-Stars and good players on the block right now. So if you're the Hawks, you just want to try to help facilitate something and get somebody you need. You want to if you could help facilitate Fox to anywhere, if you could just get a backup point guard or an extra forward with some size, you know, a wing, like just anything, like literally just anything. A young player that gets mixed up in the shuffle because teams just want the deal to go through. Excuse me, or a vet who can eat up some minutes at a position of need for us, whether that be backup point guard or a combo who could play with either Dyson or Trey. I think that would be most ideal at that third guard spot. But yeah, it's a trade deadline. Anything can happen. So just continue to try to be opportunistic if you're the Hawks. Like, again, this is not one of those things where, oh no, Jalen's hurt, the sky is falling, I need to package up 2 picks and 2 guys and go get Jokic. Like, that's not going to happen.
This isn't the season for that.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna end up trying to overpay again, make a panic move for a player that you don't really need. So don't do that. Just be opportunistic.
Yep.
But now we're gonna. Oh, were you about to say something, Chris? Or
I was gonna say I agree.
Okay, but now let's go over to these predictions. I know you guys were waiting for these.
Come on, brother.
When we
how many games we playing?
We're playing 4 games
4
this week. So 4 games in 7 days. So
how many games before the deadline? 4?
Yeah, it's 4. Yep, 4.
1, 2,
All right.
3, 4.
We got 4 games before next Thursday?
Yep.
4.
Okay,
no.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
1 and 3 is my official.
Nobody
pick,
plays.
I don't even need to know who we playing. 1 and 3.
Hold on, let me get through all my notes about these games.
Sorry,
Oh, I have the game
You're
for it
good.
right here. I got to move over. I already got.
Hold on, just let the host host.
So our first game is at Cleveland. They have been the ranked best off. They have the best offense in the league with the top 10 defense. However, the last 2 weeks, their offense is still top 5, but their defense has been terrible with a number 27 defense. Sam Merrill has an illness. He could be out. They rested Darius Garland against the Heat to play against us on tomorrow.
Scary.
They don't turn over the ball a lot. They're not a great rebounding team. They're excellent at taking threes and going to the rim. Amazing in the half court, but not great at getting offensive rebounds. They don't get into transition much, but when they do, they're elite in scoring. They're top 10 pace, and they're good at defending the 3-point line and defending in transition. The next game is the Pacers. Well, actually, hold on. I'm just going to do this team by team. Who thinks we're going to win against the Cavs? Oh, my God.
You got to ask that question better next time. But, yeah, I do not think they're going to be.
Okay.
I hope so.
I think we're gonna win against the Cavs.
Are you gonna watch the game, Ant?
Yes,
I'm gonna watch
I will.
Watch it.
Yes,
then we're not winning. If Ant was gonna skip the game,
I'm gonna
then
watch
we have a chance.
bloodbath. Of course, I'm gonna watch that.
Every time
bloodbath.
Ant skips a game where we're massive underdogs, we win.
And you watch the game. We're breaking the streak tomorrow.
Yes, we are. I now have confidence.
Hey, clock in the work.
Stop laughing. Stop. We're gonna win.
Every time we have a crazy win, Ant's like, "What happened, guys?" Like, pops up like,
he comes back into the chat later, excited as hell. Wow!
I watched the post game interviews. What happened?
Okay. The next game takes. So hold on. So I'm saying win. Everyone else saying loss. Okay. So Pacers we're at the Pacers on Saturday. Good team overall, not as offensively dominant as last year. 11th best offense, 17th best defense. Their defense has been better than their offense recently. Don't get a lot of offensive rebounds, but good at getting opponents' rebounds. Very efficient half-court offense. Not good at getting to the rim this year. Mid-range shooting has been excellent. Non-corner threes are something to watch. Incredibly good at transition off of steals and rebounds. Ball security is a must. They are great at defending the 3-point line this year, but not the rim. and top 10 in pace. So Leon already said it was an L. What do you guys think?
Pascal just a drop.
This is the one of the
37.
four
He's
I
on a
think you
heater.
probably win because Dyson gonna be all over Tyrese House.
Yeah.
And who's
I think
guarding
so,
Pascal?
too.
Who's guarding Pascal, Chris?
Huh?
The guy whose team it actually is.
The defensive scheme is guarding Pascal.
Big Za.
Okay.
Big Za.
Okay.
Big Za.
Big Za.
Project R.
Project R.
I don't know if anybody's called that kid big. Tall.
Tall?
Yeah, it's a different word. Words have meaning.
Words do have meaning. Anybody else? Anybody else in the win column? Chris in the win column.
I'm saying we're gonna.
We'll
win
beat the
that game.
Pacers. I'm not. Yeah, we'll beat
Yeah.
the Pacers.
So
Light
Anthony, Marco, and Chris and Leon are all.
Onyeka's guarding Pascal, by the way. Sorry.
So
David Roddy.
that's crazy.
Larry Nance.
Let me put this down.
Food.
Capella's back spasms will be done. Send bodies at him.
So next game is Monday at Detroit. They are below average in pace, 18th in offense, 15th in
They
defense.
have our number.
Yeah, you're right. But last 2 weeks, offense has been terrible, but their defense has been elite. Start lots of plays in transition, especially with steals and rebounds. One of the best teams at rebounding in the entire league, obviously. Great at defending the three-point line and rim, not the mid-range, not good half-court offense. What's everyone's predictions?
W.
Ooh, you got W. Okay.
Trey will be sick of it.
Wait, who was it again?
That'll be the game.
Detroit.
That'll be the game
yeah.
where Trey has 50
Yeah,
because he's
Is
sick of it.
Cade gonna block Onyeka again for the game?
Probably.
Man,
Nah, Trey's going for 50, bro.
Several times throughout.
After losing to the Pacers again,
I don't know,
on
man.
Saturday,
Trey's kind of banged up right now. You know, Trey don't shoot too well.
Yeah.
When his Achilles. You gotta have that lift. He shoots.
You know what?
really
I'm gonna
deep.
drink the Kool-Aid. I'm gonna say W.
Yeah,
W.
I'm
gonna say
they're
L.
very athletic, and we lost Jalen, so it's not.
I don't think we're gonna win this one.
They have
I
a
think-
Thompson.
Unless our offense gets better over the next week or so, I don't think we're gonna be good. So
Yeah, depends. We'll see.
Be prepared for the upticks, guys.
I hate that word.
I do love an
now.
uptick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and the last game is versus the Spurs at home on Wednesday. The
Wemby, yeah.
next national TV game. I forgot to mention the Cavs
they're
game
about
National.
is a
about to
national
flex
TV
that.
game too on TNT. This one is on ESPN. They are the 17th ranked offense and the 20th ranked defense. Last 2 weeks have been terrible with the 20th ranked defense and the 30th ranked defense and the 30th ranked offense. Dead in the middle for pace. Good at going to the rim and shooting threes in general. And with long twos, mediocre in the half court, not great at rebounding, great in transition off rebounds, and they score the ball when they get it. They're a bad half court team, elite at defending the rim, but not great at defending the three-point line. I think this is a win because Spurs
Jeremy
are terrible.
Sohan, double L.
Man, no
gonna
one's
say it's
worried about
L.
Jeremy Sohan.
We don't have anything that really. We don't have
You wish you
anybody
had
to help
Jeremy Sohan
stop
right now.
it. So I'm gonna say L. Chris.
Moji locks up Wemby.
L.
Hawks win by 12.
Dang,
Wemby's probably gonna score like 40.
really? Dang, okay. So I'm the only one.
You got us at 3-1 on that in this stretch.
I got us at so I said yeah,
you said
dang.
win, loss, win, right?
Yeah. Oh my god. I thought I was 2-2, not 3-1.
Oh, you did? Oh, my fault, game.
Oh no, I did say we would against Cleveland,
Man.
Pacers. Oh, I'm just really optimistic. I did
Too
have
busy
3.
Yeah, you are really optimistic.
Yeah.
You know, that's some sweet Kool-Aid you're sipping on, man.
You know, the Spurs game is the one that really gets me.
Good.
I think we could win that one too.
Great flavor.
So I'm gonna stick with 1 and 3 though, because I still think we're only gonna win one game over this stretch.
Yeah, 1 and 3.
I mean with the Spurs, they're a really bad team.
I'm at 2-2.
We're a really bad team when we don't
We're
have
not
John.
very good.
That's true. That's true.
We're
And we're not great
We're
at
not
being
even
bad
playing
teams.
good basketball. It's one thing being a bad team and playing bad basketball. We're not playing good basketball.
Our defense has been elite.
And our
So
offense has been cheeks.
we just need one guy that can hit, that can score. and we'll be
Not
fine.
even that. You need to know,
The
but you
one
still
guy
need
we
somebody who can
need-
hit the rim.
Yeah,
We need
Drafted a shooter.
He can't shoot yet. Supposedly.
I mean,
Isaac.
physically, yes, he can shoot the ball at the basket. Yes, he does that quite often.
All right. I don't want to get mad again. I don't even want to get mad again. Man.
Hey man, but I got us at 2-2. They said 1-3. You got us at 2-2 as well, Ant.
yeah. Hold on. Say that again. I was.
Some got to shake that chain.
I got 3-1. Leon has 1-3.
You go. Oh my
Chris
God.
got 2-2.
1 and 3.
1-3. I have
Okay, so-
2-2.
I didn't even need to know who the teams were to know we were going to 1.
It was always going to be 1 and 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could talk myself into 2 and 2, but I'm not going to talk myself into anything type of move right now.
Could have did that blind.
Yeah, it's gonna be we're gonna be playing basketball. That's all I can say. It's gonna be basketball.
And we'll play the games.
It's going to be basketball played. You know, it's going to be.
Games will happen.
It's going to be fans at the arena.
Mm-hmm. Swags will be surfed.
We're gonna be.
Tony will be in the crowd. You know, that's a lot. A lot of stuff just will be going how it goes.
I mean, hell, when we play the Spurs next, De'Aaron Fox might be on that team.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh God! If he is, that changes everything.
He doesn't even pass. They probably might be better off with Halliburton. He passes all the time. He can't even dribble.
Good point.
I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. But yeah, man. Those are good predictions, y'all. Some good predictions.
Way to predict, guys.
I'll probably get these right.
I mean, Leon was the only one who got it right the last time. So
I did.
Yeah, you were the only person who got.
He didn't even know what they were. Doesn't count.
Yes, I do. Leon
I
had
said
1
Leon
and 2.
doesn't know what they were.
Oh.
So they're great. Y'all know
It's not really-
Yes, I do.
He was just
hold on.
surprised.
Hold on. What did I say we were going to do?
See,
Last
exactly.
week, I mean, not last week, but the last recording for like those 3 stretch of games, you were the only person who said 1 and 2.
But what were the games?
I gotta check. Hold on, give me a second.
I didn't say 1 and 2. What did I say? 0 and 3.
Hold on, give me a second. It was you said. I'm pretty sure you said 2 and 1.
2 and 1.
Yes, Boston, New York versus in Detroit.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure I said 2-1 as well.
Yeah, I said 3. Oh God.
Yeah,
Now look at y'all being all optimistic and shit, losing the bet and shit.
Well, Jalen hadn't died yet, so
we didn't expect Jalen's shoulder to just hit the Dougie. You know.
Well, I mean, wasn't he like not playing? He played in those games, didn't he?
He played in
Yeah,
all 3 of those.
Yeah, he did.
Exactly.
No, he didn't.
So,
He didn't play he didn't play Boston. He came back in Toronto.
but I'm saying that
he did
was Boston's on the list.
Yeah, it was on the list, and he did play in
Okay.
Boston. So he did. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he had 16 points that night.
Yeah, because remember he had a free throw that Onyeka got the offensive rebound on.
Yeah.
Oh
Was
man,
this like
I was
2
so
weeks
lit
ago?
that night. Yeah, we haven't recorded in a long time. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes
That explains
life
why I have
happens and
no
it's
clue
you know
what
how
they
it
were
is.
talking about.
I mean, come on, y'all know how it is when it snows in Atlanta. We can't get anything done.
Yeah.
We're trying to get
Show
more
us,
episodes out.
It's also a black show. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That looks amazing.
But we want to go ahead and close this out, big dog Ant.
Yep. YBG
Big
Ant is
dog.
gonna close it out.
You know what's crazy? It's corn and onions and peppers in a skillet. That's the crazy part.
I'm
Well,
hungry
it's
also.
hard,
I'm about to go get some food. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And-
Roddy's Pizza Guy is in the chat.
I'm sorry to say this, but my client has cleared us out.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so there's definitely a guy tweeting. I'm tweeting every day until David Roddy is off his team.
That's real. That's the trooper.
Well, he's got about a week, or it's not happening.
He's going to be tweeting until June of this year.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention this during the trade deadline segment before we close this out. Cody Zeller needs to be off my team, please. I swear.
Yeah. That is
Like-
a name you need to throw on top of something.
Like if
No.
he's if he's still on the team, I'm gonna be livid.
Livid?
Livid, yes, livid.
Maybe Bogey and
Livid.
Cody are looking for
Yes.
apartments in their new city.
Or, maybe
It's a parade inside CDA.
But with
Learn how to
that,
speak Western Conference, sir. Well, he already knows how to speak Western Conference, actually. That's where Bogey started.
but with that, I'm gonna end this podcast episode here, the 18th edition. Any final thoughts before we close this out?
I love Bogey. I appreciate everything he did for this team. Truthfully, if this is his last time here, I understand why it's rough for him. Really nice run. We'll always have 2021. And yeah, I appreciate everything he's done for us. Shout out, Bratek.
Yeah. Out of all the players that's been traded so far, Bogey kind of hits the field a little bit more. I will say. Not saying JC didn't hit the fields, but Bogey definitely hits. If this is Bogey's last run as a Hawk, man, it hurts a little bit. Not gonna lie, because he's always been that guy that will get you that clutch three. But again, at the end of the day, this is a business and not a family. So,
I mean, at the end of the day, like I feel like I was one of Bogey's biggest defenders. I never really wanted him traded off this team until now at this point, especially since it's so obvious now that you kind of have to trade him if it's going to happen. We don't know if it's even going to happen yet. So I don't even know why I'm speaking like this right now, but
it's personal reasons.
Yeah, but
it's a weird situation.
If we do have to trade him, I'm going to be really sad and miss him because he is honestly one of my favorite Hawks to watch, especially when he gets going and the energy he brings to the teams. So I really hope that he does manage to get his groove back somehow eventually, if it's either on the Hawks or somewhere else. So, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, my final thought is
you're far away, brother.
Yeah, get closer to Mike.
That's funny. So AirPods haven't been on the whole time. That's crazy. Zach, I don't have any final thoughts on Bogey. I've already said everything I need to say about Bogdan, son of Bogdan. Zach, sir, now's the time. That's it.
Yeah, get them things up, Zach. Get them up.
Just get them up. There's no consequence. I know you want to win. Blah 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 blah. You said that when you got drafted.
Can nobody say nothing to you until Trey tells you to stop?
Get them up, and Trey not gonna tell you stop. No. You have to keep shooting, gang. You have to get them up. If I see you on Briarcliff, you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say get them up. Let's go.
If he's on Briarcliff, that's crazy.
I mean, that's where the training facility is, at the corner of Briarcliff and North Druid Hills.
See, I never knew that. That's fine.
There you go. Call.
But with that, we'll end this. Have a good one.
Hawks.